Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robarge, and today we have a ball review for you. What we're going to be doing is reviewing the 19th iteration of the Hammer Vibe. So this is called the Bubblegum. Now, as you can tell, it definitely resembles bubblegum. I will say the color for me with the yellow, impeccable. Like, I really like the color scheme. Now, for me, colors aren't a thing. As long as they strike and make me money, I'm happy about it. It could be brown, don't really care. But when it is pretty looking, I enjoy it. This ball is, as I mentioned, the 19th iteration of the Vibe line released in the US. Now they have released 3 remakes, the Ocean, the Cherry, and the Onyx, which is goated. I love that ball. Smash the like button if you like the Onyx Vibe. This one has a pearl cover stock on it. Now the Arctic Vibe, the most recent one, had a hybrid. Now, me personally, the Arctic Vibe was probably one of the best vibes ever made. I think it's in that top 5. I think that it set a bar for that entry level plus bowling ball again. Like, the Vibe's has always been up there. They've always been very reliable, and they've always done what you'd expect them to do, which most of the time is easy length and a more responsive back end, typically for a left to right ball motion. With this ball, I'm expecting the same, easy length and a pretty responsive back end. This does have the HK22 CT Max Pearl cover stock, along with the Vibe core. What I'm expecting is to be able to use it on lower to medium volumes and get a more responsive type of back end. Again, when I categorize bowling balls, when I'm trying to figure out what they do and what to take in the tournament, I always go by how much oil does it require or how much friction and the response time. This particular ball is definitely in that lower to medium amount of volume, or you can think of it another way, to medium to high amount of friction, quicker response time. It's going to read the friction and get to equilibrium in a little bit quicker motion. Now, with this being a symmetric ball, I'm expecting more continuation on the back end compared to some of the ASIMs or even the lower diff ASIMs especially. What we're gonna do is bowl on our souped up house pattern. It is just a house pattern with a little bit more volume. That way I can throw bigger end balls up the boards and not just be wheeling the lane for you guys the whole time. This ball, I don't see a need to have more volume, but this is what we always bowl on. This is what we're gonna be bowling on today. So I'm gonna be throwing shots up first, second, third, fourth arrow, get an idea on what this ball does, get lined up, and then talk about where we play with it, how it fits in your bag, and all that sort of stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, like I said before, we're gonna be throwing a shot up each of the arrows, going to the fourth arrow. This first one's gonna be up the first arrow. What I would expect this to do would, honestly, I could see it strike. I think this ball does require some amount of volume. What I'm, I guess, worried about would be how quickly it responds off the friction. Is it gonna see the friction or see enough of it? And if it does, will it see too much of it and duck hook past the head pin? So we're gonna go ahead and give that a shot. Up 5. Yeah, that's to be expected. It wasn't the best shot, but I will say it was out to 3 or so. To be expected, it did have a lot easier length than I thought, and it was a little bit smoother than I expected. I don't think it's gonna duck hook, unless I slow it down a lot. All right, let's go ahead and throw another shot up 5, see what it does. Maybe throw a little bit better one this time. Beautiful. Okay, that was better, much better shot. I did what I expected, a lot of friction there, quick response, not gonna blend the lane out. It's gonna respond a little bit quicker, which it did. Now, is it the quickest bowling ball I've ever seen in my life? No. Now, there could be a couple of reasons. I could not be in enough oil. The ball is just burning too much energy, which means it's gonna be smoother. We'll see how quick it gets when I move into more volume. All right, so now we're gonna throw the second shot between first and second. Again, still up the lane, hopefully find a little bit more oil compared to up 5. Better, but I don't know if you guys saw it. I saw that ball hook the first time at about 20 feet. What that tells me, too much friction there. Now, you're like, Jason, this ball is meant to get length. Why is it hooking at 20 feet? That doesn't make sense. It does if you think about friction. When we're playing right, especially on house patterns, a lot of friction there. Now, if your ball is quicker responding, meaning when it sees friction, it's gonna want to get to equilibrium faster, and that's where we get that skid flip from. It's still gonna do it no matter when it sees friction. It's not gonna ignore the friction in the fronts because it's meant to hook down lane. When it sees friction, it's gonna do something. That ball saw friction about 20 feet and changes direction by about a board or 2. 20 more feet down the lane, it probably could have got to 5 down lane, whereas now it was about 7, maybe 8, because it slightly changed direction and then made its final motion on the back end. That's no bueno. That's not good. We're gonna move a little bit further left, hopefully find a little bit more oil. That way we can get that ball a little bit further down lane. All right, this one we're gonna try to play around second arrow. I'm gonna get it out to maybe like 6 down lane roughly. Much better. Okay, that ball definitely saw more length and it provided a more skid flippy. Now, the thing about when someone says skid flip or like super heavy roll, we're always looking for roughly the same ball motion. Smooth, predictable, very blendy. When we get into skid flip, you're basically now taking your hook zone and you're shrinking it down to this versus this, just as a comparison. If your ball is rolling through this amount of area, if it comes in a little earlier, that's fine, it's rolling through that friction. Comes in later, that's fine. It's gonna have some friction, or it's gonna have some energy to bounce off of it. But if our skid flip, if the ball motion we're trying to achieve, change in direction this big as an exaggeration, it's a lot harder to hit than this big, especially when it's 40, 50 feet away. From what I'm seeing is this ball is actually smoothish right now, even though it is providing pretty good length because it's in the right part of the lane and seeing the friction in the right parts to still create that smoother ball motion that we want to achieve. When we throw skid flippy balls, basically what we're saying is the lane requires a ball like that to still achieve proper ball motion, which most of the time is more predictable, a little bit smoother shape. All right, let's move left a little bit more. That was second arrow. We're gonna go second to third. I get the ball out to 7-ish. Oh, all right, not bad, good shot. Definitely had more responsiveness to it. It got down lane and definitely saw the friction and jumped a little bit. That tells me we're finding a little bit more oil in the first half of the lane. So let's keep moving left. And a lot of people may be like, Jason, you move left and you hit 9-pin. Well, why? The angle, because it got even further down lane and was even more responsive because it didn't see the friction in the front, made it a little bit sharper angle when it went through the pins, leaving almost a 4.9. Was a little heavy, sure, but the angle was quite steep. Now, I do expect if this ball does make it back to the pocket from me moving left, it will more than likely not have the right angle. Maybe some 10 pins, 7 pins, stuff like that. 9 pins. All right, so we're gonna move in the third arrow. Again, try to get it to 7, 8 down lane, just right of that right tracer down lane. 5, 15, 10, 5, move one right. Very nice. I did accidentally throw it a little slower, I think. That was a good shot though. I think we're in the spot we wanna be. Anywhere between where I'm standing, this is a house shot, so multiple angles will play. So when I struck the first time, I'm sliding, I'm gonna say where I slid, not where I stood. I'm probably sliding around here to about right here is a nice comfortable zone. And as you can see, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 boards. It's a house shot. You're gonna have room. There's definitely multiple angles these bowling balls can play because of house shots. So we're gonna move a little bit more left. I wanna see the out of bounds on this. Right now, that ball looked really good. Like I said, I slowed down a teensy bit just naturally. Didn't really mean to, but it looked phenomenal. The way it went through the pins wasn't the best in my opinion. It deflected, but that's okay. We're gonna keep moving left. So we're gonna move a little bit more left. We're gonna try to play around 17, 18 at the arrows, get it out to 10, 9, 10 down lane. Open the lane up a little bit more. Now, will this lane provide that at the moment? I don't know, we'll see, but we'll give it a shot. I would imagine for me, this bowling ball probably won't ever come out of my bag if I'm right of third arrow, to be honest. Especially around Alaska, a lot of high friction places. These bowling balls, we just don't usually play that far right, to be honest. It's just so much friction. We just don't usually play that far right. I would imagine this ball for me is gonna be very comfortable in the third, fourth arrow range for the most part. And then I'll talk about some compliments after this shot. Let's move into, like I said, 17, 18 at the arrows. And again, try to get it to about 10 down lane. 17, 18, 10, 7, 4, perfect. Ooh, you see how responsive that was? See how quick that was? Because it was in the oil the whole time. Now, did I get it to where I want down lane? Not really, it was inside. But we're gonna go ahead and throw another shot. But that was a clear example of being in the oil for so long, when it sees friction, it's gonna want to check. Beautiful, much better. If I get it in, obviously it's gonna hook, but right? When you can see it, if it's in the oil for so long on that first shot, it was about 2 to 3 boards further left down lane than my second shot, which struck. And you can see how quick it was to respond because it just never saw the friction in the mid part of the lane. The second shot, I got further right, which saw friction earlier and was able to create a much smoother, again, looking for smooth, not necessarily looking for skid flip, but this ball naturally does that. So it needs some friction, like I said. The layout I do have on this ball is a 4 3/4 by 30, puts a pin above my ring. Now, the purpose of this ball was I wanted a complement to my Inger Pearl, the original Anger. Now, I just did a review on the Anger Solid, and I talked about how that ball can be a great complement to the original Anger, but more specifically, just a lower end benchmark ball for higher friction when I still need earlier roll. Again, sneak attack solid light. For this particular ball, I need something before my Anger. Now, traditionally I've used like the Endeavor, even the Stealth Pearl, which had a bigger core, obviously a different type of ball, but those were the balls I used before. However, I always felt like there was a gap between that ball and my Anger. My Anger was just so much longer, needs so much less oil compared to some of those other balls. So I was looking for something that's basically the Anger original, the Pearl, but just more ball, something I can use on slightly heavier volumes, but create a similar shape. That way, when that does disappear, that oil does dissipate, I can go to my Anger, and that's my burn ball. This is what I want, is a later transitional ball when there is more friction, when I do need added length through the head, but not the Anger yet. All right, we're gonna move a little bit further left because we still stroke. We're gonna go to 19, and again, try to get. There it is, thank God. All right, I was hoping for a 10 pin. That, we saw too much length. You can see it just went too far down lane, got behind the head pin, didn't have enough angle because it just hooked too late, and it threw that 6 pin around that 10. We're starting to get into the area where there is not enough friction for this ball, which makes sense. It's a fresher house pattern. I'm already at 4th arrow. I'm using a Vibe. It makes sense. So we're gonna throw one more from that area just to see if I can get it to round the corner. I like to see ball hook sometimes. Nope. A little right, it's okay. I don't like it from there because I have to trick it. Don't get me wrong, I can do a lot of stuff with the ball, but I don't have to, right? Keep it simple, stupid. With this one, I have to try to trick it, slow it down, get it very rolly, which in some cases I have to, the pattern might tell me to. In this particular case, I know moving further right works better. We're gonna go throw one more, and we're gonna move even deeper, just cause. It ain't a rev it up video without an 8 pin. As you can see on that one, especially if you watch a couple shots ago, I just slow it down, grabbed a little bit more of it, increased my rev rate, and it made a good shot. Now, I don't know how consistent that is. We're gonna move back right. What we're gonna do is throw about 3 or 4 shots up the boards, give you a little montage of what this ball does, a couple different visuals on how the ball reaction is, and then we'll go ahead and conclude the video. But if you guys are looking for something, like I mentioned, to complement, if you have a higher volume, quicker responding ball, but there isn't an ASIM yet, like again, your Stealth Pearls, the Piranha, stuff like that, where it still has a big core, does require more volume, does have a Pearl cover stock, helps promote length, but just too much core. This would be a good complement to it where, let's just say you're at 3rd arrow, throwing it up to 10, and you're like, wow, I'm striking for days. All of a sudden the oil starts dissipating, which is natural, obviously it happens every single time with bowl, but you can stay in the same place, ball straight down, your visuals and everything won't change. And this is the Bowl U philosophy where if you have control of the pocket and where the friction is, why move away from it when you can just change a ball or change your physical attributes if you have the tools in your tool bag to either throw harder or something like that. If you can get use this ball as a complement for something like that, then bowling becomes a little bit easier when you don't have to worry as much of going, oh, it's 2 and 1, oh, it's a 2 and 1, oh, it's a 2 and 1. All of a sudden, you're playing 4th arrow and it's the 3rd game or 2nd game or whatever the case may be. But you're moving throughout uncharted parts of the lane, at least for you. Other people might be playing there, which makes it even more, the variable is just even higher. If you can use this ball as a complement to something a little stronger or even something a little weaker, you can, for the most part, hopefully keep your feet from shuffling left and right and stay roughly in the same part of the lane. That's what I'm hoping to do with this ball after my Stealth Pearl, my Piranha, balls like that. Let's throw some strikes. Back right, I'm gonna go up 2nd arrow. Nice. Did have to throw it harder. Obviously, you look at that shot compared to the other shot, especially using Specto, that was a lot harder. I had to move right, throw a little harder. Let's go ahead and move left a teensy bit, see what it does. Go. That was not a great shot. That was not a great shot. One of these days, I'm gonna throw it good again. There we go, good shot. I don't know why. Some balls I just pick up and I'm just like, wow, that's so comfortable. The Anger Solid was definitely one of those, and this is definitely one of them as well. What's nice about balls like these is, one, they don't cost an arm and a leg, which is great. The second thing is they're so versatile in some aspects, like especially with a higher friction house, like you can get something like this for 170 bucks and it's gonna be pretty versatile, especially if you're only putting together 3 balls. Like if you need something weak, but not the weakest, because you only have 3 balls. Move left a little bit more. Do it right, scooped it. Move a little bit more left. Very nice, slow it down a little bit, that looked good. As you can tell with these last couple shots, minus the one I went to the face, when it sees more oil, like I am right now moving left, the quicker it is getting, the quicker response of the ball, how quickly it changes direction. Move left a little bit more. Yeah, I know the 10 pin from my hand. I think I wrapped a 10 pin in the exact same spot 8 frames ago, 9 frames ago. That tells me it's pretty consistent there, which is nice. Tells me I'm getting a little too deep. All right, move back right a little bit more. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're gonna throw one more to end it off. I'm really thinking right now for this shot, second to third arrow is money. Get left of it. Ball can either get lazy or check just harder. And it's not something I want to try to control, is that quick of a transition when I do get deep. And then when I was right, there's a pearl cover stock. When it sees friction, it's gonna want to move. It's just too much friction. Double hooked. We found our OBs, but we're just gonna go ahead and pure this one. Pured it. All right, that was a review of the Bubblegum Vibe. That ball is already released. If you are interested in getting one, hop online or go over to your local pro shop and get one drilled up. So far what I've seen, just another review on this. Lower to medium amounts of volume, a little bit quicker response. For those people who are dealing with early friction, early hook, this might be a ball for you. Easy length, not the most aggressive core or cover stock. So you should be able to blend out more friction if there's too much for your higher end stuff. With that said, if you guys like this video, please smash that like button. Let us know what your favorite vibe was. We went ahead and did the We're Back video while drilling the bubble gum. Let me know in this video too, what vibes you liked. What's your favorite? What's your top 3? Is it some of the remakes? Is it the originals? Is it an overseas one, which I actually haven't thrown any of? Now that I think about it, I probably should. With that said, if you guys have any questions on what we plan on doing in the future, or have any ideas that you guys want to see, if it's matches, tournament play, full-blown tournaments that we put on and do productions with, merchandise, stuff like that, please leave them in the comments. This stuff helps us quite a bit. We don't really do anything unless you guys tell us to do it. This is a channel for the bowling community, and I'm just here as the interpreter. So I want to do everything that you guys enjoy, you guys want to see. If it's traveling around, going to different bowling alleys or stuff like that. We did an ice bowling video. That was really fun. So if you guys are curious about that stuff, just leave them in the comments. Please let us know. But with that said, we'll rev it up bowling. Much love. Peace.